So I recently did a little bit of job switching, which is another story. But through doing that, I spent some time up in a couple different company offices doing their orientation process. And I was able to overhear and oversee a little bit that goes on, and it made me realize that some of the safety personnel play God with these logbooks a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that people realize a few things. First would be your 8-2 or 7-3 split on your logbook, your work time extension, and the fact that you can stop your 14-hour clock. And what I mean by playing God is I literally overheard the safety guy who does whatever he does with logbooks saying that he doesn't have the 8-2 split activated on certain drivers' logbooks because, I quote, they are not smart enough to use it. This is what the fucker said. So they can activate and not activate that stuff. And then when I got into the one company, I was like, how come I can't stop my hours? And they were like, what do you mean stop your 14 hours? And I'm like, why can't I stop my 14 hours? And I explained to them that, that is a logbook rule. And then the next day, magically, all of a sudden, my logbook would allow me to stop my 14 hours, right? So they turned it on, is what they did. So here's how that works. The 8-2, 7-3 split, that's a whole nother video to explain that. Or you can watch someone else's video on that. But it should be activated on your logbook. It should be available. Why wouldn't it be? It's, it's the law. It should be on your logbook. The work time extension. You can extend your work time. I'm sure most people know that, but in case you don't, then I'm here to help. So if you're in a snowstorm, adverse weather conditions, something like that, and you run out, you can extend your 14-hour clock or your drive clock up to 2 hours. Stopping your 14-hour clock. So, it used to be, if you started at 8 o'clock in the morning, say, no matter what, 10 o'clock that night, you were out of your 14 hours. It's not like that anymore. You can stop that clock now. So if you pull off, you drove 6 hours or whatever, and you pull off and you want to take a nap, then you can stop it. You just got to be off duty or in the sleeper berth, or I do believe you can actually combine them for over 2 hours or more, and that'll stop your 14-hour clock. Now if you're only there for an hour and 56 minutes, it's not going to stop your clock, so that wouldn't make much sense. Or let's say you just pull over and take an hour nap, that's still going to count on your 14 hours off your 14 hours. The clock will stay running. And those tools can be pretty handy. I use them quite a bit. I definitely use that 14-hour one because then I'm not pressed, because that used to be how it was back in the day. It didn't make any sense to me. I really do like that new rule on that, because then I was forced. If I was tired, then I couldn't pull over and take a nap, because then I'm going to burn up my 14 and I won't have enough time to get down and get unloaded or loaded, or however it plays out. Well, at least now I know if I have the time overall, to make it, that I can stop my clock. So I can just pull over and take a 2-hour nap.